First, they built a prison in the swamp, surrounded by gators and pythons. They called it border security. Now they're setting up a new camp right in our own backyard here in Northeast Florida. And the silence? Deafening. Tonight on Wednesday Night Live, Leticia Lopez joins us to speak a truth Florida's been trying to bury in barbed wire and crocodile tears. Alligator Alcatraz, Camp Blanding, and the war on her people. Stay tuned. I'm Tracy Rigdon, and this is the Contrast Project Lounge podcast. Often random, always relevant, always real, and practically nothing is off limits. Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Welcome back to another edition of Wednesday Night Live of the Contrast Project Lounge podcast. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Mr. Jim Alabiso, and Charles. Charles, how you doing? And Jim.
Fabulous.
You know, we got a great show tonight. We're actually going to be we're going a little bit on the serious side here tonight. We're going to be talking about what we've all been talking about lately is the ICE raids, the mass deportations, mass detentions, otherwise known as prison for profit. And they've been popping up all over the state of Florida. There's several of them. There's a new one coming up, Camp Blanding. Of course, we all know about Alligator Alcatraz, of which the Florida GOP is actually selling merch, Alligator Alcatraz merch. Hats, koozies, T-shirts. Oh, yeah, they're real swift. But anyway, joining us tonight to talk about her perspective on the mass deportations, the mass detentions, and so forth and so on, as they pertain to her and her community, Leticia Lopez. Leticia, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
thank you.
You know, it's been on everybody's mind, really has, and I know that it's affected a lot of families, families like yourself. And you even told me, you mentioned to me, I don't think this is personal enough, but you told me that you were reticent about visiting Miami because of the situation.
Absolutely, and I am going to visit Miami this weekend, so please, alligator people, leave me in peace. But yes, I'm going to go visit Miami with much trepidation.
Yeah.
What day are you going to Miami?
Saturday, returning the same day.
Really?
Before sun.
I'm going down Saturday as well, but for different reasons.
Okay. What are you going down there for?
I'm not going to
Coldplay
Miami.
Concert.
I'm not
Would
either.
you like to come?
Yeah, Coldplay's doing their concert Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, you get to see the Kiss Cam? You get to see the Kiss Cam?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have a T-shirt made that has an arrow pointing to the right, to the girl to the right of me and saying, "This is not my wife."
We'll have to make some memes for you.
Talk about instant karma, huh?
Yeah. We'll have to make some memes for you there.
I hope we don't have to deal with that during the show, though, because I'd rather just see the show. I think they made too much of it anyway.
How has the current climate reshaped how your sense of citizenship feels? Now, you're an American citizen.
Are you speaking to me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, I never thought I would be reliving that scene from Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, when they're asking for papers in America. Actually, I kind of, not to get on a tangent, but I knew the moment Roe versus Wade was a non-thing anymore, that was the beginning of all of this. And I know that happened in another administration. However, that being said, I just felt the dissent was coming from there. And I remember exactly when that happened. I was in the cath lab and I heard it, and I was in between cases and utterly just stunned. And everyone else was like, "What's the big deal?" I'm like, "We're in medicine, folks." I know this is a podcast of another type, but I don't see how this is not a big deal to you. But anyway, so I felt the downward descent into a lack of just human decency at that point. And it's really sad that I'm scared to travel anywhere and just even get a traffic ticket because my last name is Lopez and because my skin is brown and I might look like somebody, and that's enough. I carry my birth certificate in my car with me. I actually should carry a copy, not the original. I will be changing that after the show. But I'm like, I feel the need to do that. My military ID from way back when. And even that would do nothing for me because you can shout you're a citizen and still be wrestled to the ground and taken to, the Alligator concentration camp, and
Yeah.
it's disconcerting to say the least. It's got me living in a constant state of fear.
Hmm.
For example, I think I told you via messaging or maybe our conversation. My sister and I are big Jesse Reyes fans, and there's this one song, and we won't play it, but we'll talk about it, called
Yeah.
"Far Away." And in the video, it's her love affair with a gentleman that's an immigrant, and how in the end, they're in this club. ICE comes in, they wrestle them to the ground, they separate them, and here she is at the very end, sitting on some throne like the La Madonna with her child that looks. And my sister said she looks just like we did as kids. We are that little girl,
Hmm.
you know. We are that little girl, and it's got me terrified, regardless of my citizenship. But even that off the table, the whole thing is heinous for
Yeah.
immigrants and citizens alike. It's just
Right.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm also part Jewish, and my grandfather
Oh,
survived Alcatraz. So it's kind of not Alcatraz, I mean Auschwitz. So I can't imagine what the ancestors are thinking right now. You
right.
know,
Right.
if you ascribe to that,
Yeah. No, oh, absolutely.
fearful is the message at the end. I'm terrified.
Yeah. And you were talking about carrying your birth certificate. Well, I've got. I don't carry mine with me, but I do have a copy, and
Hmm.
my passport and the real ID and all that stuff. And my ex-wife is a Tica. She's from Costa Rica, and
Hmm.
she carries all that with her, and she still has, and she's an American citizen. I mean, she's naturalized. She took the test 20 something years ago, and she's still has a very thick accent. She's very thick accent. Uh,
Hmm.
and she's afraid to get pulled over in her car. I said, keep your
Hmm.
papers right there with you. She says, oh, I do.
I think it's just a shame. It's like,
It is
the
a
first thing
shame.
the first thing that they use is color.
Hmm.
It is.
It's like,
It is.
oh, this person's brown skin, or this
Yeah.
person looks Latino, or whatever, and then they go in and do their thing. It's
Yeah.
like, what's that all about? That doesn't sound like, how the Ellis Island that we knew about doesn't sound anything like
No.
America at all.
No. No. And
Shame. And the other thing too is
yeah.
even if the person is an illegal alien, they've taken humanity totally out of the picture. Separate the family from the kids or the wife from the husband or whatever they're doing, put them in a camp or whatever they're doing without any regard for humanity or care or empathy for anybody that's caught in this situation. So even if they're right, even if they do find somebody that's an illegal alien, they still handle it without any humanity.
Hmm.
Right. Right. But there's so many. What they call every time someone that subscribes to Fox News, every time they hear the word
Oh dear God.
undocumented immigrant,
They
they
salivate.
they automatically think they're illegals. They're illegals. No, that's really not what that means.
Right. Right.
There's a whole lot of farm workers out in California and the Midwest and so forth. They are documented. They're undocumented, basically, but they're
Hmm.
here on work
Hmm.
visas. They're here on
Hmm.
work
Right. Yeah.
visas. They're
They're
legally
paying
allowed to be
taxes
here.
and everything.
They're allowed to be here. And someone that is on a work visa is allowed to get a driver's license. They can get a
Hmm.
driver's license. So they have a real state ID on them, and they're paying into the system. Someone, they always say, well, they don't pay taxes, and they get all this free stuff. And that's total bullshit because
Yeah.
they do pay taxes. They pay tax on everything they buy. Every time they fill up their work truck, every time they go to the grocery store, they do pay taxes. Absolutely, they do. So
Good luck picking your fruit.
well, a lot of that's changing too because some of the workers are just not showing up because those ICE raids, those people are showing up where everybody works. They're going to the restaurants, they're going to the fields, they're going to Home Depot.
I would
Unbelievable.
argue. I'm sorry to. I'm not trying to be contrary, but I would argue that this is just like America. Look at our history. This
Well,
is the
you got a point
colonizer's
there.
way. You know,
You
the
got a
only
point
thing is
there,
that
yeah.
what I will say is that I thought that, you know, culturally and watching, you know, things change throughout the decades, that things had evolved at least to a place where there were certain places we could not go anymore. And if you were racist, if you were, you know, had these really unsavory opinions and thoughts of how other people of a brown or other skin color are to be treated, those people were in the closet. Now they're so emboldened. They're brazen. They are out there with their full chest and they're being supported.
Yeah.
So I would say this is following suit with America, but I just thought we had put enough distance between us and Jim Crow and all the other nonsense and the slavery, all of that. But
It's
now
only
I
80
think
years since Japanese internment camps.
there you go. There you go. And I think that this is just this is, to me, this looks like a game to create a new kind of slavery. Because now they're not getting paid a decent wage, whatever that was. Now they've got them in these internment camps. Why are they sitting in camps? Why are they not sending them back from whence they came? Why are they sitting there marinating?
They're filling beds, and the prison gets paid as long as the bed is full.
That's right. And then they're going to take these
Exactly.
folks and
Yep.
get them to work the fields for $1 a day, like they did in Dubai or something like
Right.
that. You know?
I think that's exactly what they pay the workers that go out. It's $1 a day. And
So
you
this
know,
is new
initially
cheap
they
labor.
said, yeah. And initially they had said, you know, Donald Trump had said that we're gonna get all these dangerous criminals out of our country and all this stuff. Very
That
few
living brain donor.
of them. First of all, very few of anybody is getting deported. The deportations are low as opposed to what they have been in other administrations. But those were deported after due process.
After due process. Exactly. There we go. There we go.
After due process. And these guys, they're filling up these camps and building more and more and more just so they can keep the beds full, because if you follow the money trail, it leads back to only a handful of people. And they're big donors.
Not only is it profitable,
yeah, it's a bunch of dickhole corporations.
It's also good.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Makes them look tough.
Hey, you guys, what's going on in Blanding? Can you fill me in on the audience? What's going on in Camp Blanding?
Sure. That's a little too close for comfort.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about Camp Blanding. It is close to home for most of us. We're in Northeast Florida. But like you say, what's the local response been? Well, I know that there have been a lot of protests down there, almost on a daily basis, some larger than others. This past Saturday, there was just a ton of people down there. And I know Representative Nixon went down there again and was not allowed in. And so, and she's not the only representative, but there's other, you know, politicians that have tried to get in these places and they've denied them. So that was only supposed to take 10 days. Yeah, exactly. That Camp Blanding was only supposed to take 10 days to construct. And I haven't heard anything since they started it. And it's the same company that was contracted to do Alcatraz.
Alligator more quality Alcatraz. Construction.
Yeah. And the same yeah, what is it? Geo Corporation or something like that. And actually, you know who was a consultant to them years ago? Tom Homan.
No.
Tom Homan.
How convenient.
Yeah. He's got consultant fees from that company in his back pocket. And those corporations, their CEOs, have been donors to Ron DeSantis's campaign.
Yeah.
Which is why Florida is probably going to get several of those. They have the Chrome facility, which is outside of Miami, which is basically the same setup as Alligator Alcatraz. It's nasty as hell. The Camp Blanding, I don't know if they're going to use that tent setup or they're going to use some of the old barracks buildings or what. Probably going to put up all new tents, but they go in there and it's going to cost them. They don't give a shit
about these people. They don't care about their comfort.
No, they don't. And they don't care about any kind of privacy whatsoever. Now, I know that there's no privacy in jail, limited privacy, I'll put it that way. And I know from firsthand experience, but aside from that, I know that there have been instances where there have been in those cages, there would be a whole bunch of men on one side, whole bunch of women on the other. And there's no curtains, no privacy, no nothing. And they have to use the latrine in that cage where they're at. You don't get let out to go to the women's room, you know. It's right there.
Sexual assault's not going to be a thing at all.
Not going to be a thing. Not going to be a thing.
Not a thing. Be it from the guards or from fellow people in there, just frustrated and angry and horrible, being, giving into their base emotions.
Well, when the state dresses this up, when they want to call it, security, secure our borders, order, rule of law, those kind of things. What do you want people to? What do you, Leticia, want people to understand about the real cost of that?
The real cost of that, I would say, the sanity and mental and emotional well-being of the people that are here, be they immigrant or otherwise, working their butts off, following due process and getting snatched up. And we have no trust. I have no trust in the government whatsoever. All we're doing is filling the coffers for these corrupt people who are all in bed with each other to make a little extra money, a little. And I'm being facetious.
A lot.
And rattling people's cages to, when I say people, Caucasian, white people, cages, while rattling them on the inside to just call a fellow citizen out. But before you know it, it's going to be like Salem. It's going to be a witch hunt where, my neighbor didn't cut their grass just right. Oh, I think I should call ICE on them.
Yeah.
Know?
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. This is not the me show, but I imagine other Latinos like me are making life decisions right now. How's the passport? Where are we going to go if it really gets thick? And I'm in a relationship where my boyfriend can't leave. His work is here, even though he goes on tour. His work is here. So I'm going to have to unravel our lives if I have to flee. And what does that do to our relationship, my family, my son who's here? And luckily for him, he's half gringo. So, he looks the part. He has a gringo last name. So he'll get to stay. But, what happens to mama, like other mamas being thrown in these cages? This is just, it all stinks of racism and corruption. And it's really, I served my country proudly for 10 years, and I was government property, and this doesn't seem like that's changing anytime soon. And I feel betrayed, as I'm sure other Latino veterans feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Charles just brought up earlier before we went live. Charles brought up the instance of that Army veteran that was picked up and detained.
Yeah, Southern California. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And he kept trying to tell him, and they still kept him for like 3 or 4 days or whatever it was, and didn't let him go.
Yeah, I think it was 3 days.
I'm sure they punched him in the head a little bit too on the way out,
Yeah, exactly. How do you think the mainstream media has handled it, Leticia? Failing to cover it or cover up.
Yeah, that's more like it. I feel like who knows I won't say what's true anymore. You can see the live footage and usually trust that. It's the press is being grabbed by the short hairs right now, so they can't really be as free with their speech and as free with their account of what's happening, because they'll get shut down. Look at Colbert. What's that?
Yeah, but I feel like the international media has been doing a much better job. Like the BBC, Reuters, the Irish Times, stuff like that. They're actually they don't give a shit. They got reporters here and they're going to report the facts. So just like
Yeah, but Trump likes to be all blustery and threaten to sue and have these mainstream media people
all these newspapers and magazines.
Now he's calling some of his followers, they're no good, they're losers, I don't need them anymore. He's going off the deep end. But I don't see anything changing anytime soon. I mean, he's just off his rocker.
Yeah, he's a blunt force instrument.
Yeah, he is.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's Tritolini is what I like to call him.
I like to call him the orange shit gibbon.
Oh, I have a lot of things I call him that I probably shouldn't. Yeah, I like orange shit gibbon. Yes, that's really good. I didn't know we could go there.
Yeah, if you go to the zoo, you ever seen the gibbons and the monkeys out there? They like to get up next to the cage and then throw poop at you.
He'll hire someone to throw the poop for him. This poop, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the best poop you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, he's a man. Now we've documented. There is documented proof And I can supply links to there's documented proof to the corporations that are linked and all this stuff and where the money's going, where it's coming from. It's going into somebody's pocket behind all of these facilities. And like I said, it's only a handful of people that are involved in it. That Geo Corporation has probably built the vast majority of detention facilities in the country. Multi-million-dollar company. And, from your view, who actually benefits from that kind of a system and who gets bled from it? That's an easy one.
American people, and the corrupt motherfuckers that are stealing our money. And then there's more subterfuge to this, because I find myself looking at people. Are you friend? Are you foe? Now I'm categorizing people in my life for my personal safety. And some of those people are people I thought were my friends. And some people are even close family, not mine, but and I have to look at you with a side eye. Yeah, you've been nice to my face, but what are you really thinking? Especially if I know that you supported this shit.
Yeah.
How real are we being here? And how much of me am I going to open up to you as a human being?
Sure.
And then we'll add another caveat to this. I'm a cath lab nurse. I work in EP and cath. And we have representatives from Medtronic, Abbott, have you, all these companies that come in. Right? Well, when I was up in Dover, Delaware, on my last contract out of town, there was a rep that would come in and he just Trump this and Trump this and Trump that and blah, 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 the whole case. And I'm a traveler and I need my money. So I can't say shit if I have a mouthful. Yeah. And the whole time I'm there, I'm seething. And I can't say anything but, you doing okay? All right, good. Do you need anything? All right. I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it's utterly unprofessional. Should not be happening. But these people, like I said, are emboldened. Class and tact and professionalism. We don't need that anymore. Those are passe practices.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was nursing, I did mostly ICU stuff, but I also floated to the cath lab. So I worked in the cath lab downtown, on and off for several years there too.
Excuse me.
And I got to tell you, those reps, those dudes make a lot of money.
Yes, they do. I'm trying to be one of them. One of these days.
One of the nurses I worked with, one of the guys I worked with, he left nursing to be a cath rep. He sure did. Almost doubled his salary overnight.
There you go. And you know what? I was not to get off on a tangent, but I'm looking at companies that are global, because I'm looking for my ticket out of here.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm looking for get trained and send me to Spain, please. Send me to Portugal. Send me to Ireland. Send me somewhere else. But I'm already strategizing.
Yeah,
my exit.
Yeah. Well,
that sucks.
If you do,
because I don't want to leave.
Yeah, if you do travel out of the country, one thing to think about as well is getting back. I don't think we're going to have any easing up of those restrictions until this administration is completely gone.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's going to get harsher and harsher with them as well.
I mean, they're stopping people coming in airports and shit from Canada. For Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have Canadians
and
done?
There was that scientist from France that they looked at his social media, and he had made some kind of remark about Trump, and they wouldn't allow him in the country. Where he's some famous scientist that was coming here for some scientist gathering thing, and it's just seriously, it's not like he's gonna come here and start a fire or something like that in the woods. I don't know.
Oh yes,
be a stand-up professional person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody brought it up kind of jokingly, but it actually not so much. Said, hey, if you got a bunch of random radical anti-Trump memes on your phone, erase them.
Get them gone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This is very Orwellian. Very much so. And
seriously.
all right, Mofro is going to Cancun.
Yeah.
And the tour is taking them to Cancun in December. And if there's ever a girl that deserves a vacation, it's this one right here. And I'm finally thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get to go to Mexico. I've not been out of the country in a long time. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know that I'm going to go to Mexico, because I may not get back in.
That sucks.
Right.
Or am I going to have to bring a burner phone? What is this? What is this shit? I got to bring a separate phone, pack the other one away. And because I just might disagree. Being a dissenter is not, that is supposed to be the nature of the Constitution. There's an echo.
Sorry.
And now it's not free speech. What is that? I don't even know what that is anymore. So I'm afraid that just being a dissenter is not going to be, or just having a contrary opinion is not okay anymore. Now they may mess with your papers.
Yeah. What is something, and this might be a more heartfelt answer for you too, but what is something that you wish more non-Hispanic or gringos would understand about?
I would say those who are supportive, now is the time to really put your empathy pants on and have some compassion, and try not to be defensive when someone says, well, you're enjoying white privilege. It's not like that I don't like you or I hate you because you're Caucasian. Quite the contrary. Hey, we are all colors of the rainbow, but understand that you have a privilege that others don't.
Yeah.
And be an advocate for the people that don't. But please try not to be, this is not the time for defensiveness. This is not the time.
Right.
This is the time to be supportive and try to see something from another point of view.
Yeah,
be a little more neighborly and kind. And it's kind of funny to me, and I can't believe I'm going to go here because I am in the Bible Belt. It's kind of funny how the alt Christian right are anything but in this area right now.
That's true.
In this country right now. They're the very embodiment, the antithesis of Christ's practices, but they want to say, we all just need some love. We just need to love one another. And I'm like, the fuck? What? I'm sorry, I just said that. I'm like, like, what? How do you, the cognitive dissonance it takes to like let those words come out of your mouth or say that this is what you believe, but this is what you're supporting, is just too much for me to bear sometimes. I'm like, the hypocrisy is rich, and I don't think it registers because they're all juiced up on Fox News.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when we start talking about the Christian right and the hypocrisy for some, not all, but some of those folks, is just absolutely amazing. I mean, it's like, what happened to what would Jesus do kind of thing.
Not this.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, and about judgment and all this kind of stuff. I mean, Jesus was anointing people's feet and taking care of lepers. Come on, give me a break. Right? If that's what you believe in, then follow it instead of becoming some kind of cult of personality, cultist person. That's just amazing, the stupidity.
I think Jesus would have been the first person they picked up.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Okay,
they would have found Home Depot and said, "Hey, Seuss, get in the truck."
Oh, we got that echo coming in. Okay. All right. We're winding down here, and before we go, I want to get a last word from you, Leticia. Have you got anything, some beautiful words for us to take home with us?
2028 is coming. I'm sorry. I don't feel very inspired these days. I just be kind to one another as best you can and really do it and mean it. And watch out for yourself out there. That's what I got to say. Watch your back. Don't be.
Yeah, the cool Wu-Tang Clan protects your neck.
Yeah, that's don't be lulled into some false sense of security because, honey, I am side-eyeing everybody. And just try to, when you get home and you get a moment of peace, just try to bring it on in, pray, zen, meditate, whatever the hell it is that you do. Do that thing to find your center, to get back out into the world and do it all again with a little bit more precaution, a lot more. I wish I had something positive or whimsical to say, but I just don't because I don't feel very hopeful right now. I just don't.
Understandable.
That was good. Charles, Jim?
I'll just keep it simple with love, peace, and chicken grease.
So I'm having to mute and unmute my microphone. But no, I mean, I just hope that, Leticia, you may have a comment about this. Do we see the end of this? Or how long do you think this is going to happen before we just revolt? I mean, is there an end to all this crap?
Man, I wish I had my crystal ball. I would say the closer we get to the election, I think it's really going to heat up, and we're going to see the revolt.
And
The revolution will be televised.
And that's the important point here, I think, is if we want to stop this, there's so many signs we can hold up, but it's not really going to do any good. The real power is going to be in how we vote. So the voters are going to be responsible, just like they were responsible for what we have now. They're going to be responsible for a reenactment of the same inhumanity that we're going through now. So it's really up, if you really want to help the communities, the minority communities, you need to vote that way. If you don't vote that way, you're not helping anybody. That's my thought for the day.
Yeah. Well,
agreed.
When it comes to voting, before I give my closing thought, when it comes to voting, more people didn't vote for Trump than did, although he keeps claiming it was a landslide. 38% of voters, 38% of registered voters didn't vote at all. So that number added to the ones who didn't vote for him is twice as many as the ones that did vote for him. So there is hope if we can get the people off of their asses when it comes time to vote.
Seriously.
And vote all the way down the line. The midterms, your local elections, everything. All of that matters.
Blue.
Exactly.
Blue, 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 blue.
Okay. My closing thoughts. When you see something or you see someone actually watching Fox News and like salivating over it and then repeating the talking points just like Trump does. When you see someone, yeah, don't be afraid to say what the actual fuck.
That's hard when they're not your kin.
Not really. All right, guys.
This is why I'm not coming to the barbecue.
Well, guys, I tell you what, it's been a wonderful time. Had a great time with you, Leticia, and thank you so much for sharing your perspective on the issue. Guys, we'll see you again next week. We got something going on then.
Forward to it. Thank you again.
Peace.
Bye.
Thanks again, Leticia. Appreciate
Thank you, guys.
All right.
And that's a wrap on another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Big shout out to our guests and all of you kicking it with us tonight. If you had fun, don't forget to hit the subscribe and follow us on all the socials. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and wherever the hell else everybody is scrolling these days. Want to be a part of the next show? Keep an eye on our socials, our pages, and jump in the chat. Until next Wednesday, be kind, stay weird, and keep showing up. Peace.